Good morning, everyone. So it's a wonderful privilege and honor to be a part of this training program. Okay, sir was telling me to speak in Telugu. So while the lesson is going on, I try my best to give you, okay, even mother tongue input also. It's my privilege to be a part of this training program because this training program is very essential program. Okay, because yesterday our resource persons Emmanuel sir and Jyoti madam and even Suresh sir also might have told you about the reports, okay, NAS reports. Okay, so government is not satisfied with the reports, with the results what we got in our state. Okay, so this is a national level problem we are facing right now. So in this process, sir was nicely explained about all academic standards, micro competencies, curricular expectations, okay, and learning outcomes. So we all know very well about what to do, what not to do. But there is a small shift in our paradigm. We need a small change. So for that purpose, government deputed us to sit here for 3 days and learn many things. Okay. Today, before lunch, we try our best to give you some awareness how to use our textbook. When it comes to textbook usage, a trained teacher will always, work very well when it comes to usage of textbook. If you are aware about pedagogy, then you will do wonders in your classroom. So for that purpose, are we not following pedagogy? Yes, we are not following pedagogy. Just now Emmanuel sir told, I had been hearing this pedagogy since 10 years, 12 years, okay, 13 years. But when it comes to practicals, when it comes to practice in our classroom, we are not following those rules and regulations. If we try our best, at least to practice 1 unit, 2 units, to segregate all these things, and to practice the steps, what was insisted to us, or what was developed, then we may get good results, okay? So you will get results, but we will get more results when it comes to pedagogical strategies, okay? So, National Achievement Survey, yesterday you got some input. State Level Achievement Survey, SLAS, you got some input. Where are we? Where is our nation? Our nation is below 70%, below 50%, below 60%. Where are we? Where are we? Below 40%? Will you agree with us? Yeah, below 40%, below 30%. So there is a problem. Now we are in emergency where we need to improve those skills. Okay, next NAS test, National Level Achievement Survey, when they conduct next NAS test, we should perform well. Or we should at least improve a little bit, year by year, year by year, year by year. Okay, so for that purpose, we all are here. Okay, so don't think negative about the programs because all training programs will give you some sort of input. Some sort of input. So here I could see Albert sir, Anil sir, Pandits. So I was surprised. In complex meetings, you have separate complex meetings. But when it comes to FLN training program, Foundational Literacy and Numeracy, you are involved here because you also go for classes, primary level up to 5th class. Okay. So because of that reason, government deputed you to learn some new pedagogical strategies where you could implement when you go and teach in a classroom. Do we need a training program? Do we need these type of training programs? Some of our teachers in Rajan Mandal were telling, sir, we don't need any training program. We trained already. We were trained long back ago. We did our Bachelor of Education. We did our Diploma in Education. Sir, we don't want any training program. Already we have trained teachers, sir, again and again in service. Why you are making us sit for 3 days and undergo through this training program? Okay? But right now, I am here. I had been to many training programs. I worked as a resource person in various levels, mandal level, cluster level, district level, okay, state level, even national level. I went to Bangalore also. International level, I went to United States also. But I learned something new wherever I go. Even here also, I learned something new, Tomorrow also, I visit to some of the mandal, I learn something new. Everywhere I will learn something new. I pick some new stuff wherever we go, okay? So we all are learners from womb to tomb. From womb to tomb. Even before tomb, you are in bed. In Gandhi Hospital or in Apollo Hospital, you will learn how to increase the oxygen and decrease the oxygen. You see, you are a learner there. You got my point? Okay. So we are learners. That's it. Until you learn something, you can't teach something. Don't think that I got everything. Okay. So we can't teach how we were taught. You got my point? We can't teach how we were taught. Who will translate? Except resource persons. Who will translate this? Somebody should tell in Telugu. Resource persons in English. Okay. We can't teach how we were taught. Somebody translate in Telugu. Somebody translate, please. No, not RPs, because RPs already, they got these inputs in the district level training program, various training programs. I want all the teachers, participants who are here, not RPs. We can't teach how we were taught. No. We can't. C-A-N-T, can't. How we were taught. Okay, we are running short of time because Divo sir is also coming over here. I don't want to waste the time. So we can teach how we were taught means మనము ఏ విధమైన బోధనకు గురయ్యామో మనం స్కూల్లో ఉన్నప్పుడు ఓకే అదే విధమైన నీ ఇంగ్లీష్ టీచర్ నీకు ఏ విధంగా అయితే బోధించిందో అదే మెథడాలజీ పెడగాజీ నీవు పాటించకూడదు. How we were taught when you were in schools. We have some mixed groups. Okay, recently schooling completed participants like 2017 DSC teachers are there and 2083 DSC teachers are there. Okay, your teachers and these teachers. Okay, you may get different types of teaching methodologies. Okay, but whatever it may be, all our teachers translated all the stories and nicely explained in our mother tongue. You know, translated nicely. Once upon a time there was a lovely mother. అనగనగా ఒక మంచి అమ్మ ఉండే. Okay, she had 7 children. ఆమెకు 7 మంది పిల్లలు ఉండే. And the 7 children were very hungry. ఆ 7 మంది పిల్లలకు బాగా ఆకలైంది. సో వన్ డే వాట్ హ్యాపెండ్ ఒకరోజు ఏమైందో తెలుసా? సో ఇన్ దిస్ ట్రాన్స్లేషన్ మెథడ్ వి ఆల్ వర్ స్టడీ. యూనో ఎంతమంది చెప్తారు ఇట్లా ట్రాన్స్లేషన్ మెథడ్లో మాకు టీచింగ్ జరిగిందని? ఓకే, ఎస్, ఈవెన్ స్టిల్ టుడే ఇఫ్ యూ ఆర్ ఫాలోయింగ్ ద సేమ్ మెథడాలజీ పెడగాజీ that is absolutely wrong because the translation method doesn't work when it comes to language input. So because of that reason we need to shift our paradigm. We need to change our system. Okay, government, our SCRT experts did some researches and finally they developed a wonderful teaching learning methods or steps. Okay, new paradigm we could say, or new teaching style we could say, and that is called discourse oriented pedagogy. Okay, discourse oriented pedagogy. So how many of you heard discourse oriented pedagogy before? How many of you heard discourse oriented pedagogy before? Discourse oriented pedagogy, DOP method. How many of you heard before? You have a lot of service, you might have undergone through many training programs. Or how many of you, I'm not telling to explain what is discourse oriented pedagogy, but I want you to tell, have you ever heard? So you never heard, I think, okay? You heard, but you forgot. You got my point? You heard, because I taught here many times in many platforms. I taught in district level, mandal level training, even in complex level training programs also. We were discussing about all these teaching steps, but you forgot. So at least from today onwards, sir, remember, because sir is a resource person, because he is supposed to teach, he learned all those things. Okay, so these steps are very essential. Sir was really explained very well about what is listening, what is speaking, what is reading, and what is writing. So you got some nice inputs about these language skills. Okay, so now let us think about a teaching learning process takes place in our classrooms. Okay, so we have English textbook. So how many of you know when you compare these textbooks, okay, first to second, forget about first, second, okay, it has different pattern, but when it comes to third, fourth, fifth textbooks, how many of you could segregate the topics, areas, how many areas that you have identified in English textbook? Could anyone tell please? How many areas are there? If you look at the textbook, already books were served by Suresh sir. So if you look at the textbook, how many areas are there? Take one unit. How many units are there? Could anyone tell? There are 8 units. And how many working days are there? There are 220 working days. So how many working days that we are supposed to give inputs? 140. Yesterday you got this. Okay. So how many units are there? 8 units are there. Okay, our district education officer, Sri Sushindra Rao sir, just arrived into our campus, our venue. So we are expecting sir to come inside and address all the participants. So I think it would be probably appropriate if we could continue our session. If sir comes inside, immediately we will alert and give chance, and then so that he could organize himself to communicate with us. Okay, so I don't think sir went into office, but we will continue our session. Okay, so thank you very much. So how many areas are there? No. How many units are there? 8 units. Okay, take one unit. In one unit, how many areas you could identify? Picture reading, ear reading, grammatical reading, B reading. Okay, you are reading the titles. Okay, so basic structure of one unit. You know, we have 5 almaras here. How many almaras? Look at me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 almaras. Okay, so there are 5 areas in every English textbook. Because I'm just moving forward because Divo sir came, whether we may get chance or not, because if he comes and address, we may not get time. Okay, so I don't want to prolong. We will try to move forward. So how many almaras are there? 5 almaras. Okay, so we will try to segregate, differentiate. Okay, 5 areas in our textbook. First one, what is the first one? First page, picture. Yeah, picture interaction. So first almara, picture interaction. Okay, face sheet. Okay, call it as face sheet. This almara's name is face sheet. Second almara, what is the next one? Reading. What are you reading, sir? Yeah, very good. Storytelling. Listening text. we have an appendix story where in every textbook it was printed behind the textbook, and we have all those 8 listening texts. Okay, each and every listening text is an area, okay, a part. Okay, so second Almara's name, tell me quickly, because after this I'm going to ask you individually. I will make you stand and you must tell all the steps. Okay, so be attentive. Next, storytelling. So this, call it as listening text. Okay, listening text. Next, reading. Very good. Who said reading? Somebody said, okay, last. Reading. Reading is nothing but a reading. Okay, we have a main story in the textbook, a reading. So this third Almara is a reading. Okay, and which is the fourth one? Fourth area. Could you identify fourth area? Comprehension. After a reading, what are they? What did you find in the textbook? Yeah, output. But what activities do you find after a reading? Go check the textbook. Yeah, vocabulary, but what do you call them? Soon after you complete your story, all the activities. Learning outcomes, but grammar, learning outcomes, textual exercises. Fourth Almara, which has glass, okay, is textual exercises. So what is the name of first Almara? Tell me quickly. Face sheet, picture interaction. Second Almara, listening text. And third one, reading. Okay, a reading. Fourth one, textual exercises. So whatever exercises you find after B reading or A reading, called textual exercises. Then the last Almara, last and least. Conventions of writing. After textual exercises, what could you find in the textbook? Who said B reading? Yeah, my school teacher. Okay. B reading. Okay. So Savitri teacher from Ralaguda said B reading. Okay. So now quickly recapitulate. Face sheet. Listening text. A reading. Textual. Yeah, textual exercises. Okay, B reading. So 5 areas we could make pieces. Okay, chicken piece. Okay, you take a whole chicken, leg pieces, okay, wings or something like that. Okay, so you can make textbook into 5 pieces. One unit could be divided into 5 areas. 5 areas. Okay, now we are running short of time. I don't want to waste. So now we will go for the pedagogical strategy. What is pedagogy? Pedagogy means children. Gogy means art and science of teaching. You all are artists. You all are scientists because you know how to teach the textbooks. You're well equipped and trained to teach English. Are you getting my point? So in some of the nations like America, you know what happened? America president visited one school and he tried to teach something. He asked the principal that he will teach something. The principal said, "Sir, you might be a president of this nation, but you are not supposed to teach my kids because you are not a trained teacher. You are not a trained teacher." President said, "I'm a president of this nation. But sir, can you go into the hospital? Can you go enter into a home theater, operation theater? When doctor is doing the heart transplantation, can you go and do that, sir?" You can do. Because if you do, the patient will die. How you couldn't do that surgery? Because you are not a doctor. Because you are not a trained teacher, you're not supposed to teach my kids. You got my point? See how value we have. You know, you're a trained teacher. Even the president doesn't know the pedagogical strategies to teach in a classroom. Even our officers, IAS officers, doesn't know how to teach in the classroom. Recently, Devasana madam was asking, "I'm an administrator. You are an educator. I'm an administrator. You are an educator. I don't know. What steps do you follow in the classroom? Please tell me. Please teach me." One of our secondary grade teacher taught her, "These are the steps we follow in the classroom." And she said, "Oh, I'm not aware about that." You got my point? I'm not aware about that. I learned from you. An IAS officer who is a collector, who did collector for several districts, who is our commissioner and director of school education, learn something new from SGT teacher. You got my point? From secondary grade teacher. Because he taught all the pedagogical strategies, steps, teaching steps. And she said, "I appreciate you. You know, I can do your work. You can do my work. You cannot become doctor cannot become a teacher." You got my point? So these are all the information that we need to undergo. Think about it. Don't think teacher is something somewhere down. No, you are a trained teacher. You know what to do, what not to do. You look at the textbook with different perspective. You don't look like a normal book. You know each and everything. Okay? So because of that reason, you must get some awareness where you are supposed to start, where you are supposed to end, how you are supposed to segregate. Okay? Again, very quick recapitulation. First Almara name. Face sheet. Second, listening text. Third one, A reading. Textual exercises, B reading. 5 areas. Okay. Now, these 5 areas we are going to put in some boxes. We have 3 boxes. Box number 1, that fan. Box number 2, this light. Box number 3, this fan. You got my point? How many boxes are there? 3 boxes. One box, first box, second box, and third box. Now you are going to go there, lift those almaras, and put it in the box. You got my point? Okay? Yeah, you're going to do that. So you need to settle these 5 areas into these 3 titles. So pedagogy is nothing but teaching style, teaching steps, art and science of teaching. You all are actors, artists, because you know how to teach. So after this program, you know how to teach. Before also you know, but you are not practicing in your classroom. Okay? So when it comes to pedagogy, we should follow one pedagogy. All our textbooks, look at this textbook. This textbook is designed in particular pedagogy, particular methodology. You got my point? Are you able to understand what I'm talking about? So this particular textbook is framed, written, kept, segregated, designed, developed in that particular pedagogy, which is discourse-oriented pedagogy. All our textbooks from 1st class to 10th class have designed to practice in particular way, particular steps. That is called discourse-oriented pedagogy. Okay, so when it comes to practicing, okay, teaching steps, we have basic 3 areas in discourse-oriented pedagogy. Okay, the first one is, would somebody say, except RPs? Quick, we are running short of time. DO sir is there. Okay, what are the areas? Huh? Madam? Page sheet already finished. Listening. No. Areas. What are the areas in pedagogy? Okay, I don't want to waste the time. The first one is pre-reading. Before reading, pre-reading. Second one is, what would be the second one if first one is pre-reading? Huh? Reading. Somebody said reading, sir. Reading. This light is reading, okay? And this fan is post-reading. Post-reading. Okay. Now, we are going to put these 5 almaras into these 3 boxes, okay? So, first one goes face sheet. So, face sheet, will you put here or there? Where? Pre-reading. Is it a pre-reading activity? Are you sure about that? Yes, it's a pre-reading activity, okay? So, showing the picture and asking some questions, okay? Eliciting some answers from students, which is a pre-reading activity, comes and falls there, okay? So, pre-reading activity. So, next one, second almar. Listening text. Where will you put? Reading. Pre-reading. Right, Srinivas. So, the second one is also goes into pre-reading, okay? Next, third one. A-reading. Reading or pre-reading or post-reading? Reading, absolutely right. So this light, okay? This almara goes there, okay? Pre-reading. A-reading activity goes into reading. And next one, fourth one. Textual exercises. Soon after you complete your A-reading part, then you move to textual exercises. So where will you put that? Post-reading. Post-reading? Are you sure? Okay, absolutely right. Post-reading. So this fan will capture that almara, okay? Okay, next. Last one, the third one. B-reading. Post-reading? Post-reading? How? Don't you make students read the text of A-reading, B-reading? If it has a rhyme, and what are there? There will be a story or a rhyme in B-reading. So how will you conduct that activity? Will you don't make students to read the text which was printed in that story or in that rhyme? So where does it come? B-reading, sir. B-reading. Last almara. Where will you put? B-reading. A-reading or B-reading? B-reading. That was a B-reading. But where? Pre-reading, A-reading or pre-reading, reading or post-reading? Post-reading, sir. Post-reading? Yes, exactly. If it is a rhyme, put them in post-reading. If it is a story, like monkeys go fasting, put them in A-reading. You got my point? Yeah. Okay. So now you settled all these 5, okay, unit areas into 3 parts. Okay. Part number one, pre-reading. So in pre-reading, what would be your first activity? Face sheet. Okay. So how will you deal the face sheet? That is that where we are lacking behind, where we need some rich kind of linguistic input. Okay. Where we need some proper guidelines. How you are supposed to deal the picture. How are you dealing the picture? Could anyone tell who is practicing here? You show the picture. You show the picture. Ask some questions. Get some responses. Elicit some answers. That's it. You ask some situations. How are you dealing the picture? For example, this picture. How are you dealing the picture? Sir, can you put any 3rd or 4th class one picture on screen? If you have PDF. Don't we have PDF? Okay, so we will see. So for example, how will you describe this picture? How will you use this picture? You ask the questions. What do you see in this picture? Children will say, oh, I could see camel and I could see one guy drinking some water. That's it. Will you get responses in English first?
Yes.
No, we don't get responses in English. Okay, we'll get responses in Telugu. So, when it comes to picture interaction, always follow these rules. Try to identify each and every corner of that particular picture. Okay, every corner. If you have a plain area, there will be a sky behind. Beautiful blue sky. Okay, if there is a small ground, make it as ground. So, try to name each and every part first. Okay, you try to elicit answers from students, but name it. Write on the board. Name it, write on the board. Okay. And after writing the words, okay, for example, you got 10 words. 10 words, okay. You got some cage, bird, tree, okay, houses, blue sky, okay, ground, children, playing, and all those things. Okay. So you got something like that. So in the next step, you are supposed to, not reading. Make sentences. Absolutely right, man. I appreciate you. Okay. Make sentences. Because the single word doesn't help any human being to express his thought. For example, hungry, the word hungry. The word hungry. If I want to tell my hunger, express my hunger, the word hungry doesn't help me to express my hunger. Because if I say hungry, you will ask me a question. Who is hungry? Are you hungry? Are we hungry? Or sir is hungry? Who is hungry, sir? Why are you saying hungry? So the word hungry doesn't help me to express my hunger. I need some link language like I am feeling hungry. I am feeling hungry. The word hungry in single word doesn't help me to express my hunger. I need a link language to express my hunger. There is only one single word. You can put a full stop. There is only one single word on the surface of the earth in English language, literature. What is that word? You can put a full stop after writing that word. A 2-letter word. What is that?
Okay.
No. Go. Jivo. Go. Doesn't need any other words to express. Go means go. You can put a full stop. Okay. So like that, we don't have words. So we need to go with multiple words to express your hunger. Okay. So holiday means iroza repa ippudu. Tomorrow is a holiday. So you need tomorrow is a holiday. So is a holiday. Tomorrow. See, 3 other words supposed to help to express or tell about the holiday. So you will never get to tell or to express your thoughts in single words. So always make children to frame sentences with those words. For example, you wrote 10 words, okay, in big picture, okay, in picture interaction. Then you convert into sentences. For example, there is a boy, okay, playing boy, okay, playing, okay, he's playing. You wrote boy, okay. How will you convert into sentences? Huh? Boy is playing. Yeah, the boy is playing. The boy is playing. So here, non-consciously, subconsciously, you will insert even grammar. You will insert all grammatical areas like present tense, past tense, future tense. You got my point? There are 12 tenses in English. So each and every picture, wherever you look, you will find a tense. You will find a tense. But you don't teach this is present continuous tense, but you tell, and then child will able to understand the ing forms and all those things. For example, what tense it is, if you look at this picture. In what tense this picture is? Present tense? Present continuous tense, because the droplet, you see the water drop, it is hanging in the sky, okay? So in between mouth and bottle. So this is present continuous tense, okay? He is drinking water. If you look at the camel, in what tense it is? Come on, quicker. Is it past tense or present tense or in future tense? Past tense. In what way you are going to develop a sentence by showing this picture? Camel sat on the ground. Camel sat on the ground. Can you say camel sitting on the ground? No, because position. So whatever picture you get when in face sheet, you must frame first words and then you must go with the sentences, appropriate sentences, position-wise sentences. Okay. For example, in this story, some other person is going to come here. Okay, he is waiting for his friend. Okay, and then future tense. Okay, you will say, okay, for example, Ramu character is there. Ramu will be coming and meeting his friend. So which will be a future tense. Okay. So camel sat on the ground. The man is drinking the water. Okay. So even the man is drinking the water, but he has some white dress. So in what way you will explain that? He wore. Yeah. Okay. This man wore a white dress, or which is a past form. ఒకవేళ సగం దొడుకొని ఉన్నాడు అనుకోండి, ఓ పిల్లోడు నిక్కర్ సగం దొడుకొని ఉన్నాడు, పిక్చర్ వచ్చింది, ఏం చేస్తారు? ద బాయ్ ఈస్ వేరింగ్ ద నిక్కర్. ఫుల్ వేసుకొని వచ్చి బస్ స్టాండ్ నిలబడ్డాడు. వాట్ విల్ యూ సే? ద బాయ్ wore the uniform. ఈ గాట్ సగం గుండీలు తెరిచున్నాయి, బటన్స్ పెట్టుకుంటున్న పిక్చర్ ఉంది, ఏం పెడతారు? ద బాయ్ ఈజ్ వేరింగ్ ద షర్ట్ అంటావు, బటన్స్ అని పెట్టుకున్నాడు, బస్ స్టాండ్లో నిలబడ్డాడు. The boy wore a blue check shirt, you see. So each and every picture will tell us or will explain subconsciously every student, and it will teach grammar in a holistic methodology. Okay, you got my point? So in that way we should describe the picture. So teacher must have an ability to describe the picture as per the position of that picture. Then each and every word you try to describe. For example, there is a man like this. Okay, ఒక బట్ట పట్టుకున్నాడు, ఉతుకుతున్నాడు బండ మీద. ఓకే, సగం లేచిన పిక్చర్ ఉన్నది, సగం నీళ్లు కూడా వచ్చినాయి వెనక నుంచి. ఇట్లా బండ ఉంది కింద, మధ్యలో పెట్టి పిక్చర్ ఇచ్చాడు. ఏం చేస్తా? హౌ విల్ యూ డిస్క్రైబ్ దట్? ద వాషర్ మ్యాన్ ఈజ్ washing the clothes అంటావు. The washerman wash the clothes అనవు. The washerman will be washing the clothes అనవు. The washerman will wash the clothes అనవు. You will appropriately, you will address the position of that picture. That is very much important. So whenever you address the picture according to the tense, according to the position, automatically you don't need to teach grammar. You know to teach grammar. For example, మా స్కూల్లో అప్పుడప్పుడు కరెంట్ పోతుంటుంది. మీ స్కూల్లో కూడా పోతుంటుంది కదా? ఓకే, సో సడన్లీ ఒకసారి స్కూల్లో కరెంట్ వెళ్ళిపోయింది. పిల్లలు అంటారు, కరెంట్ వై, current wire. Oh my God, the power has gone. Oh my God, the power has gone. What happened? The power has gone. Oh my God, what happened? The power has gone. Power has gone. 2 times, 3 times I said. Children were looking at me. Hey, what happened? And immediately they said, current wire, sir. The power has gone. The power has gone. You got my point? So the power has gone. I used that circumstance, the situation, and I tried to inject then appropriate dialogue. Okay, so this has to be done in the classroom. So when you show some picture, don't go with vocabulary, but always develop a meaningful sentences. Okay, those sentences should be practiced by students. Each and every student should say those sentences. You write on the board, and then word by word, because they have the picture as a support, and then they will, with the help of picture, they will remember those sentences. Shall we take a tea break? Short tea break? Okay, sir. So we will take a short tea break, and after tea break we will continue the session. Okay, and after 10 minutes sharp we will start our session, and we will continue all these 5 almaras. Okay, we will start our session because we are running short of time. We don't have time because sir is there, DO sir is there, so he may come at any time. We must be very alert. Okay, so sir is at MPDO office upstairs. Some private teachers program is going on. So he may come at any time. Okay, so we will continue our session. Before going into our session, I request all the participants to stand so that we could sing one rhyme. You like rhymes, no? You like rhymes, okay? So recently I saw some videos in elect program. Emmanuel sir, Vinaya, and rest of the other Manohar, and all these elect mentors made you to dance. Even sir GHM Yadaya sir also was dancing like this. Okay, so we will enjoy our language class. Sir, okay, so first we will sing one rhyme. Okay, all of you stand up. So you must shake your body. Okay, shake your body and get relaxed. We will sing one small rhyme. Okay, small rhyme where you are supposed to learn here and teach in your classroom. Your students must also get such activities. Okay, so what is this? This is our hand. Not only hand, but it is our right hand. Yeah, so this is our hand, and not only hand, this is our left hand. You see? Okay, which kind of linguistic input? Okay, so put your right hand in. This is in. Me mundunna bhagam in. Me venukunna bhagam out. Okay, so now we are going to use in and out. In and two prepositions. Okay, to teach 2 prepositions, in and out, this rhyme would be probably better to use. Okay, put your right hand in, put your right hand out, in and out, and shake it all about. Do the boogie boogie and turn yourself around. I have a wired mic, I can turn, but you can turn. Okay, I have a wired mic, I can turn. If I turn, this will cut. Okay, so you don't have wired mic, you can turn. Okay, put your right hand in, put your right hand out, in and out, and shake it all about. Do the boogie boogie, do the boogie boogie, do the boogie boogie, do the boogie boogie, and that's what it's all about. Put your right leg in, put your right leg out, in and out, and shake it all about, shake it all about, shake it all about. You're not shaking. And shake it all about. Do the boogie boogie and turn yourself around, and that's what it's all about. Right side in, put your right side out, in and out, and shake it all about, shake it all about. Do the boogie boogie and turn yourself around, and that's what it's all about. Before tea break, where were we? Here, when you are supposed to teach face sheet, one terminology, which is megaphone. You must remember the megaphone. Okay, already I told, we will get Telugu responses. Okay, when you show some picture, you will say, "One day, sir," and then you should megaphone. So megaphone is nothing but you are, for example, you say, "What is this?" In Telugu you say, "What is this?" No, not Puskam, this one. One day. Yeah. So if I say to the whole class, okay, children, what could you see here? What is this? Yes, very good. Sinu, I appreciate. This is a camel. This is a camel. Yeah, I megaphoned. So that is called megaphone. Megaphone is nothing but we will get responses from Telugu because they don't have English vocab in their brain. So they will respond in Telugu, but the same thing you should not pronounce. Camel. Yes, camel. So we must say, camel. You say like that. Okay, yes, this is a camel. What is this? This is a camel. Every student will say, this is a camel. Okay, then what is this, Yeah, okay. So this is the pedagogy we need to learn. Okay, so this is called megaphoning the things. Okay, so when we get Telugu responses, mother tongue responses, we must megaphone and say it loudly again and again for 3-4 times, and child will able to understand the English vocabulary of that particular picture. You got my point? Okay, so next, after picture interaction, there is a next. What is that? Okay, 2 Almar. First Almar is finished. Now second Almar. What is this? Listening text. So where does it go? Huh? Here or here? Into first box. Yeah, pre-reading activity. So when it comes to listening text, in each and every textbook, at the end of the textbook, we have listening text. So these listening texts are specially made to narrate the story. Okay. So in story narration, we will explain the story in English. Okay, if it is possible, you could translate, you could code switch and code mix. Okay, 2 terminologies. Okay, ఇంతకు ముందు మెగాఫోన్ విన్నారు కదా, ఇప్పుడు code switch, code mix రెండు రాసుకోండి. So code mixing in the form of code mixing or code switching, you will narrate the story. When you open that listening text, children automatically they will also open the listening text. Okay, so and they will also start reading while you are reading. So you must make sure that every student should not look at that page at the end of the textbook. Okay, so when you narrate the story, you don't simply read the story, but you give them a rich kind of linguistic input while reading the story. How will you read the story? You must narrate it. So how will you narrate? So you use all your body language. Okay, for example, deaf and dumb. You know deaf and dumb? Deaf and dumb. In special education, we have deaf and dumb, MR, VI, visually impaired, all these things. When it comes to deaf and dumb, you should become like a deaf and dumb teacher. Okay, so but you say voice, but your body should work as a deaf and dumb teacher. So you explain a deaf and dumb teacher. So all the news would have facial expressions, body modulations, okay, gestures and everything they use to make the person understand by looking at the person. Okay, so you must explain like that. Okay, for example, there is a big mountain. Okay, there is a big mountain at Narwad. Okay, there is a big mountain. So we know all those things. You know all these tricks, but you must appropriately, as per the time, you must insert those things. Okay, so you are supposed to explain the story like that. Okay, you take your appropriate time. Okay, each and every unit we are supposed to finish within 18 to 20 working days. Okay, in period plan they will explain all those things. So in 18 period plans, you need to finish all these 5 areas, all pre-reading, reading and post-reading activities. Okay, so story narration involves, okay, eye contact, facial expressions, raising tone, falling tone, voice modulation, okay, raising your pitch, falling your pitch, okay, your gestures, body language, each and everything should be appropriate while you are narrating the story. Then only children will get a rich kind of linguistic input where they will hear the story and register in their brain. Okay, so our brain, our student's brain or any human's brain is a fantastic organ. Okay, the smart organ. It has some intelligent quotient where student will understand when something you speak. Cognitive process takes place in human brain. In student's brain, cognitive process is nothing but when you megaphone or when you say, the brain will register. Recently, what happened? Not recently, long back ago, when I was working in a private school, I went to the second class and I told second class students to recite a rhyme. They were singing, "Twinkly, twinkly, little star. Twinkly, twinkly, little star." What is little star? I said, okay, hey, ever nerpira meeki rhyme? Ante intamundu teacher nerpindu sir. Twinkle, twinkle, little star kada. Twinkly, twinkly, little star anturendi meeru. Anna. So, twinkly, twinkly, little star. So it's a mistake of a student's tongue which producing twinkly, twinkly, little star. Is that the right appropriate pronunciation? No, it's not the right pronunciation. Okay, so it's not the mistake of even child's tongue. It's the mistake of students' vocal cords where they are vibrating. Twinkly, twinkly, little star. It's not even a mistake of students' vocal cords. It's a mistake of students' brain which insisting vocal cords, muscular parts, lungs to blow, tongue to speak. Twinkly, twinkly, little star. Is it a mistake of students' brain? No, it's not even a mistake of students' brain. It's a mistake of students' ears which heard twinkly, twinkly, little star. Is that the mistake of students' ears? No, not even ears. It's the mistake of the teacher who sang twinkly, twinkly, little star. So the sounds which were produced by teacher, twinkly, twinkly, little star, entered into students' ears and freezed into students' brain. And in brain, the vocabulary, pronunciation, everything made some stamp, and student is not singing, but the student's brain is insisting, vocal cords, tongue, okay, and the muscular parts and the lungs to blow twinkly, twinkly, little star. You got my point? Whatever you hear, that you speak. Okay, so when you speak in front of students, you must have an accurate pronunciation. Then only they will get proper pronunciation. So when you narrate some story, always try to narrate like a storytelling. Okay, then they will get some sort of listening input, and then automatically the brains of the students will insist their vocal cords, tongue, muscular parts of lungs to blow the language automatic, because brain has some areas where it register the sounds, it register the sentences. Okay, if you say one dialogue, the entire dialogue itself will freeze in students' brain. Okay, and the freezed information will be coming out through the tongue. Okay, because look at my tongue, I'm talking. Okay, am I aware about my tongue no insist చేస్తున్నాను ఇక్కడ తెలుగు అక్కడ తెలుగు ఇక్కడ అని చెప్పి, but without my conscious, my tongue is just producing the language. Because why? I have a lot of vocabulary in my brain, and whatever stored vocabulary or sounds or expressions, phrases, sentences which was stored in my brain, inculcate all the stock words which was feeded in my brain, and it could produce the language according to my need, according to my circumstances, according to my situation. You got my point? So this is very important, that you need to understand the cognitive process what takes place in our students' brain. Okay, if you could look at the students, you are not looking the faces, but you are looking the brains. Brain. You are playing with brains. Okay, because doctors will do the surgery with the brains, but we play with the brain. Okay, we feed information in brains. Okay, so all students, you look at brains, and you are feeling that when you are telling a story, you feel that I am injecting some information to the brain. Okay, I am feeding language in his brain. Okay, I am filling his zone of proximal development. ZPD. Yeah, in B.Ed, D.Ed, we know zone of proximal development. ZPD. For example, Albert sir is a Telugu Pandit. Anil sir is a Hindi Pandit. Okay, and our Donald Trump is an English person who worked as a president of United States of America, and right now put three together. Okay, Anil sir, Albert sir, and President Donald Trump. Okay, so they have their own zone of proximal development. Okay, who has a lot of English vocabulary in these three persons? Donald Trump has a lot of English vocabulary in his brain. His zone of proximal development is somewhere very high when it compares to English. Anil sir, Hindi Pandit. Okay, so can you compare with President Donald Trump with Anil sir? Huh? Can President Donald Trump speak Hindi like Anil sir? No, because his zone of proximal development in English is high, but in Hindi, he is somewhere very low. When you come to Albert sir, Telugu Pandit, okay? So Albert sir's Telugu vocabulary will be very high in his brain, and he is more than Donald Trump when it comes to Telugu. You got my point? Zone of proximal development is nothing but the feeded vocabulary, the feeded information, words, sentences, whatever we freeze in our brain is our zone of proximal development. Every human being will have certain vocabulary in his brain. Our student will also have at least 1 to 200 vocabulary. Okay, our English teacher might have 500 to 600. Okay, English scholar who did PhD may have 2,000 vocabulary. William Shakespeare may have 20,000 vocabulary. Okay, American President Donald Trump or Biden or Barack Obama, okay, they speak rubbish English. Their zone of proximal development is somewhere very high. But if you compare with William Shakespeare, their zone of proximal development will be somewhere low. So the level. So when you tell the story, okay, their zone of proximal development will be improved year by year. The stock words in their brain will be improved. So when we tell a story, always there will be some learning takes place in students' brain. Okay, with the help of those vocabulary, student could be able to speak properly. Okay, student will learn vocabulary, not only vocabulary, means single words, and at the same time, the student will learn the sentences, phrases, meaningful expressions. Okay, always in English, we learn through expressions. With single words, by heart, you will never become fluent. If you depend on reading, you will never become fluent. But if you listen entire dialogues, the feeded dialogues will help you to speak fluently. Okay, it insists your tongue to speak properly. Okay, so we must always give a phrase or an expression or a full sentence in front of students. Okay, so now listening input. Okay, you got sufficient input about listening text. Okay, so after listening text, next we'll come to the main business. Our main business stands here, where? In reading. So when it comes to reading, because we have 4 skills: listening, speaking, reading, and writing. But our pedagogy insisting more on reading. Okay, so we can't teach how we were taught. Just now I told So our teachers used to directly take the textbook. Okay, directly take the textbook, open the page, and directly they used to read. Okay, once upon a time there was a good woman who had 7 hungry children. Okay, and translate and read, translate. So before narrating the story, we have 5 to 6 steps where we are supposed to practice in our classroom. Okay, the first one, could somebody say first step? Individual reading by student. You may ask me a question, sir, why should we make student first read? Why we are not supposed to read first? If teacher reads first, children won't focus more on the vocabulary. Okay, if you make student read first, then he will face some hurdles to read out. Okay, trial and error method. So I would like to give you two examples. Okay, first example. Okay, lesson number 1. Okay, 2 students are there. Albert sir, next. Somebody, please. Those who feels I'm enthusiastic guy, come on, come forward. Please, madam, stand up. Okay, 2 students are there. Listen to me carefully. 2 students are there. One student, he did not try. I'm trying to open this projector. Okay, I'm trying to open this projector. So first I opened this projector and I fixed it. And I made Albert to see that. Okay, I opened and I fixed it. First experiment. Second experiment, Mrudulata madam. So first I give her a chance. Okay, I did not open, but I gave her a chance. Please open. Open. Yeah, open. She is opening. She opened. And now you fix it. She is trying to fix it. Okay, 2 experiments. First experiment, I made Albert to watch while I'm opening and fixing. And the second experiment, I made Mrudulata teacher to open herself and fix herself. Okay, and what happened? Mrudulata teacher could not fix properly. Okay, she could not fix properly. And Albert sir, who saw, also could not fix properly. They opened, but they both could not fix properly. Next step, both are watching. In next step, I opened. Both are there. I opened. And then I fixed the projector. You got my point? Okay, 2 experiments I did. First one I opened and I fixed. I made Albert to see. In second step, I made Mrudulata gave opportunity to open the projector and I made her to fix. She failed somewhere to fix. Okay. In third step, I opened and I fixed. Okay. While I am fixing, whose concentration will be more? Who will pick accurately? Could you tell? Who? Albert or Mrudulata? So who will pick? Who will be very conscious? Who will be observing step by step? Albert sir or Mrudulata teacher? Mrudulata, obviously. So because if you teach first, if you read the textbook first, what happens? Child will not concentrate about his hurdles, his unknown words. For example, there is a word, a good woman. Student could not know how to pronounce good woman. Okay. So first, if you give chance, he faced trouble, and you are making students to underline the hard words, and he stopped that, and he will know that I could not read this particular word. Okay, so in second step, when teacher reads, then the focus will be more. Idi naaku raaledu, GOD good anedi naaku raaledu. Teacher emantado ani concentration perugutadi. So while I am fixing, Mrudulata teacher will look at the process and నేను ఫిక్స్ చేస్తుంటే ఇది నేను చేసిన ఇది నేను కూడా చేసిన ఇది నేను చేయలేకపోయినా, అక్కడ ఫోకస్ ఎక్కువ ఉంటుంది. So trial and error. She tried first, she failed. Where she could not do properly, there her focus will be more. She won't divert here and there. ఆ స్టెప్ రాగానే కాన్సంట్రేషన్ అంతా కూడా అక్కడనే ఉంటుంది. So when it comes to Albert sir, already I opened, I closed, and హడల్ అనేది తెలియదు. He could not, because he doesn't know where he is struggling. So his focus won't be more. So in second step, so Mrudulata teacher will consciously learn something, and her registered items will be more, and she could learn very quickly, and she will become perfect. Thank you very much, sir. First, we are making students to learn. Okay, first individual reading. So after individual reading, what is going on? Individual reading lo emaithundi pillalu chavutaru sir. No, that is not the right answer. As a trained teacher, you must say that we are making students to fail first. Okay, whatever they could not read, you underline. Sir, నాకు ఏవి రావు సార్, అన్ని అండర్లైన్ చేయరా. సార్ నాకు ఏవి రావు సార్, అన్ని అండర్లైన్ చేయి. సో ఈజ్ రాదా, వాజ్ వస్తుందా, అండ్ చిన్న వస్తాయి కదా, అట్లీస్ట్ అవి వదిలేస్తాడు. ఓకే, ఇది వచ్చా, వదిలేసి. సార్ మొత్తమే వస్తలేవు సార్, వన్స్ ఓఎన్సీ, వన్స్ అంటలేడు వాడు, ఓఎన్సీ అరే అట్లా గులిగా అండర్లైన్ చేసి. సార్ ఇట్లా ఏదో రాకుండా అండర్లైన్ చేయాలా సార్, అండర్లైన్ చేయి. ఐఎస్ ఈజ్ వచ్చింది సార్, వచ్చిందా, అండర్లైన్ చేయకరా. సార్ ద వచ్చింది సార్, అండర్లైన్ చేయకరా. సార్ వాజ్ వచ్చింది సార్, అండర్లైన్ చేయక. ఏదైతే హార్డ్ వర్డ్ నీకు పలకనికి రాదో అండర్లైన్ చేసే పెన్సిల్. సార్ ఇది ఈజీ సార్, నేను చేస్తా. ఇండివిజువల్ రీడింగ్, కమ్ ఆన్, ఆల్ అండర్లైన్. నెక్స్ట్ స్టెప్ కొలాబరేటివ్ రీడింగ్. We are in second box. Okay, in collaborative reading, pick 3 or 4 ఎన్ని గ్రూప్స్ చేస్తావో అన్ని గ్రూప్స్ కు ఒక్కొక్క ఇండివిజువల్ బ్రైట్ స్టూడెంట్స్ ఉంటారు కదా, కొంచెం ఫాస్ట్ చదివే పిల్లలు, వాళ్ళని ఒక్కొక్క గ్రూప్ కు లీడర్గా చేసి నెక్స్ట్ స్టెప్ ఇండివిజువల్ రీడింగ్. నీ క్లాస్లో ఒక స్మాల్ గ్రూప్స్ తయారు చేయాలి. ఒక 20 మెంబర్స్ ఉంటే 4 గ్రూప్స్ విత్ 5. ఓకే, అందులో ఒకరు బాగా చదివే పిల్లల్ని వేయండి. ఓకే, ఉంటారు కదా మనకు 4 to 5 స్టూడెంట్స్ ఉంటారు కదా. దెన్ ఇన్ దట్ స్టెప్, దట్ person, okay, the bright student or rest of the other students will teach that group. Okay, peer group learning antam. So in this peer group learning, అరే ఇది రాదా 60 నీకు, ఇది వన్స్ రా భయ్. ఇక మన పిల్లలు ఇంకా ఎట్లా మాట్లాడుకుంటారు గ్రూప్లో తెలుసు కదా, ఇది వన్స్ వే అంటాడు. అరే ఇది వాజ్ రా, ఇది అరే యూపీఓఎన్ అపాన్ రాదా అని ఒక నెత్తి మీద కూడా వేస్తాడు. ఓకే, సో ఈ ప్రాసెస్లో పిల్లలకు ఒక ఇన్స్ట్రక్షన్ ఇవ్వండి. సార్ యూ ఇన్స్ట్రక్ట్ దెమ్ టు రబ్. ఓకే, వాట్ ఎవర్ దే లెర్న్ దే రబ్. మీరు యూఆర్ నాట్ ఆస్కింగ్ మీ క్వశ్చన్. సార్ ఒకటేసారి ఎక్స్పోజ్ అయ్యిండ్రు, పీర్ గ్రూప్ ద్వారా అది యూపీఓఎన్ అపాన్ అని నేర్చుకున్నారు. బట్ దాన్ని అండర్లైన్ చేయించాడు, అప్పుడే వాడు రాదని అండర్లైన్, అది నేర్చుకోకముందే నువ్వు రబ్ చేయిస్తున్నావేం సార్ అంటావు. ఓకే, సో వీఆర్ మేకింగ్ స్టూడెంట్ ఎక్స్పోజ్ ద వర్డ్, నాట్ టు లెర్న్ ద వర్డ్. ఎక్కడో చూసిన అనుభవం. ఇప్పుడు ఇక్కడ చాలా మంది టీచర్స్ ఉన్నారు కదా, కొంతమంది నేను ఫేస్ టు ఫేస్ బాగా గుర్తుపడతా, ఐ డోంట్ నీడ్ ఎనీ ఇంట్రాక్షన్ ఫర్ దెమ్. కొంతమందిని ఎక్కడో చూశాను, ఎప్పుడో చూశాను. సో ద హార్డ్ వర్డ్స్ ఫర్ స్టూడెంట్స్ విల్ బికమ్ లైక్ సమ్వేర్ ఐ సా, సమ్వేర్ ఐ హర్డ్, సమ్వేర్ ఎక్కడో విన్నాను అని రాబోయే రోజులలో ఎక్స్పోజ్ అవుతుంది. సో ఇన్ రిపిటేషన్ దీస్ వర్డ్స్ విల్ బి అకర్ అగైన్ అండ్ అగైన్ ఇన్ ద సేమ్ స్టోరీ. అండ్ ఇప్పుడు ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ అనిల్ సార్ కంటే ఇప్పుడు మన రెడ్డి సార్ ఉన్నాడు, ఇది ఆర్బీ నగర్ రెడ్డి సార్ ఉన్నాడు. రెడ్డి సారు కొత్తలో ఉన్నప్పుడు నాకు పరిచయం లేదు, ఒక్కసారి చూసిన కాంప్లెక్స్ మీటింగ్లో. నెక్స్ట్ టైం చూస్తే ఎక్కడో చూసిన సార్ అని అనుకున్నాం. కానీ ఓవర్ పీరియడ్ ఆఫ్ టైమ్ ఐ డోంట్ నీడ్ ఎన్ ఇంట్రడక్షన్, because many times I met. So the same word upon or with whatever it is, in this process again and again they will be exposed again and again. అప్పుడు ఏమైతుంది, 10 times 20 times expose అయినప్పుడు it will become familiar for them, it will become their property and they don't need any introduction because immediately they will catch that word. ఓకే, దాన్ని గుర్తిస్తారు, అది ఎక్కడ టెక్స్ట్లో ఉన్నా కూడా చదివేస్తారు. అర్థమైందా? సో వీఆర్ మేకింగ్ దెమ్ ఎక్స్పోజ్ టువర్డ్స్ వర్డ్స్. యూ మే సే దట్ సార్ అండర్లైన్ రబ్ ఎందుకు చేస్తున్నావు? ఎస్, ఎక్కడో చూసిన అనుభవం మాత్రమే కలిగిస్తున్నాం ఇన్ కొలాబరేటివ్ రీడింగ్. నెక్స్ట్ స్కాఫోల్డ్ రీడింగ్. నెక్స్ట్ స్కాఫోల్డ్, ఇండివిజువల్ రీడింగ్, కొలాబరేటివ్ రీడింగ్, స్కాఫోల్డ్ రీడింగ్. స్కాఫోల్డ్ ఈజ్ నథింగ్ బట్ ఎ టెంపరరీ సపోర్ట్. బిల్డింగ్ కన్స్ట్రక్షన్ ఉంటుంది కదా, బిల్డింగ్ కన్స్ట్రక్షన్స్ లో మనము గోవా కట్టలు కడతాం కదా, సున్నం వేయడానికి, లప్పం రుద్దడానికి. ఓకే, సో దట్ ఈస్ కాల్డ్ స్కాఫోల్డ్. స్కాఫోల్డ్ ఈజ్ నథింగ్ బట్ ఎ టెంపరరీ సపోర్ట్. సో ఇన్ దిస్ టెంపరరీ సపోర్ట్ వీ హెల్ప్ టీచర్ షుడ్ గో టు ఈచ్ అండ్ ఎవ్రీ గ్రూప్ అండ్ టెల్, అరే ఏంద్రా ఇది అండర్లైన్ చేశారు. సో లాస్ట్కు అండర్లైన్స్ తగ్గిపోతాయి. ఫస్ట్ ఇండివిజువల్ రీడింగ్లో అండర్లైన్స్ అనేవి ఎక్కువగా ఉంటాయి. ఇన్ సెకండ్ కొలాబరేటివ్ రీడింగ్లో గ్రూప్లో అందరికి వచ్చిన వర్డ్స్ మైనస్ అవుతాయి. అందరికీ రాని వర్డ్స్ అంటే బ్రైట్ స్టూడెంట్ పెట్టావు కదా, ఈవెన్ ఆ బ్రైట్ స్టూడెంట్కి కూడా రాని వర్డ్స్ అందులో ఉంటాయి. సో ఇట్ విల్ బి రెడ్యూస్డ్ అండ్ టీచర్ విల్ గో టు ఈచ్ అండ్ ఎవ్రీ గ్రూప్. సో ఇవన్నీ కూడా మీరు ఒక 18 periodsలో చేయాలి. దెన్ యూ గో టు ఇండివిజువల్ గ్రూప్ అండ్ యు ఆర్ స్కాఫోల్డింగ్ దెమ్. స్కాఫోల్డ్ రీడింగ్ చేస్తారు. సో ఈచ్ అండ్ scaffold is nothing but a temporary help where teacher is giving. So here there you go, అరే ఇది రాదారా, ఇది ఏమంటారు దీన్ని, upon, దీన్ని was, this is mother, this is father. ఓకే, there was, ఇట్లా చదువుతారు అన్నట్టు. చదివినప్పుడు ఏమైపోతుంది, పిల్లలు దే విల్ అగైన్ ఎక్స్పోజ్ విత్ టీచర్ నుంచి ఎక్స్పోజ్ చేయబడతారు. ఓకే, ఎక్కడో విన్న అనుభవం ఏర్పాటు చేస్తున్నారు. ఓకే, యూఆర్ నాట్ టీచింగ్ దెమ్ డైరెక్ట్లీ బట్ యూఆర్ మేకింగ్ దెమ్ ఫెమిలియర్ విత్ యువర్ ప్రొనౌన్సియేషన్, ప్రాపర్ ప్రొనౌన్సియేషన్. ఓకే, సో యూ విజిట్ ఆల్ గ్రూప్స్ అండ్ దెన్ యూ మూవ్ టు నెక్స్ట్ స్టెప్. స్కాఫోల్డ్ రీడింగ్ తర్వాత లౌడ్ రీడింగ్ బై స్టూడెంట్. సో లౌడ్ రీడింగ్ బై స్టూడెంట్లో pick 1 or 2 students, those who could read perfectly with nice pronunciation, and then you made them read loud. Okay, so ఒక్కరు రీడ్ చేస్తే క్లాస్ మొత్తం రీడ్ చేసినట్టే అని నేను అంటున్నా. Will you agree with that? If one student stood and read one paragraph, okay, slot, okay, I am claiming, I declare that all 70 heads in the classroom are read. Will you agree with me or not? Agree kada? Okay, for example, ఇక్కడ ఉంది కదా, అది చదవండి, ఎవరైనా ఒక్కరు లేసి చదవండి. Somebody from your group, very quick, we are running short of time. Divo sir వచ్చింది, come on. ఒక్క నిమిషం ఆగండి. సార్ మార్గదర్శకులు అవుతారు. కూర్చోండి సార్. సార్ రెడ్. I am telling rest of the other teachers also read. Didn't you read while he is reading? ఎవరెవరు చదివారు చేతులు లేపండి. మరి చదవలేదంటారు మీరు. They won't say loudly but their brain will read internally. Their tongue will be internally twisting. Their mouths will be slowly twisting. You got my point? Whoever follows. So teacher responsibility ఏంటంటే ఒక బ్రైట్ స్టూడెంట్ లేసి నీవు తీసుకున్నటువంటి ఆ పారాగ్రాఫ్ చదివిస్తుంటే, if somebody who is following rest of the other group children, they are also reading. You don't need sir individual reading కాబట్టి నేను ఒక్కొక్కరిని చదివిస్తాను గంటలు వేస్ట్ చేయకండి. If one is reading, rest of the other following, that's it. The brain is reading, that's it. Forget, you finish that activity. You got my point? So in this process you make 2 or 3 students read loudly. Then every student, వాళ్ళు ఆల్రెడీ ఇంత ముందు 3 steps లో ఎక్స్పోజ్ అయ్యారు vocabulary. Individual reading, collaborative reading, scaffold reading, then loud reading by students. So here 4 times the same words are repeatedly exposed towards them. So they will become familiar. అంటే ఎక్కడో విన్న అనుభవం ఏర్పడుతుంది ఫస్ట్ టైంలో. ఓకే, ఈ ఆ వర్డ్ ఒకవేళ 10 times అపియర్ అయింది అనుకోండి ఆ యూనిట్లో, ఆటోమేటిక్లీ ఇట్ విల్ బికమ్ their property. They will grab and they could able to read wherever it printed. Okay, so after this reading, after individual loud reading by students, then you move to loud reading by teacher. So before that, if you have some time, silent reading కొద్దిసేపు ఇవ్వండి పిల్లలకు చదువుకొని, ఎందుకంటే all words are repeatedly known and they became familiar. Okay, here one important thing that you need to focus before starting your first step means reading లో పేక ముందు you need to segregate that entire A reading ను ముక్కలు చేయాలి. You need to make segments. Okay, A reading 2 or 3 pages ఉంటుంది any story. You cannot go for the entire story, but you need to make segment. Take a big marker, sketch pen, underline under 2-3 paragraphs, 1-2 paragraphs को underline చేయండి. Okay, make 4 or 5 segments. Story ఒకవేళ 4 pages ఉంది, 3 pages ఉంది, 2.5 pages ఉంది. Each and every paragraph or 2 paragraphs వీలుంటే ఒక ప్రతి పారాగ్రాఫ్లో ఒక పిక్చర్ ఉండేటట్టు చూసుకోండి. ఓకే, సెగ్మెంటేషన్. సో యూజ్ సెగ్మెంట్. సో ఈచ్ అండ్ ఎవ్రీ సెగ్మెంట్లో ఏ రీడింగ్ మీన్స్ ఇండివిజువల్ రీడింగ్, నెక్స్ట్ collaborative reading, next scaffold reading, next loud reading by student, next silent reading. పెట్టండి ఏముంది ఒక స్టెప్ ఎక్కువ వస్తే silent reading by students, next loud reading by teacher. Yeah, here the accuracy comes, the authenticity comes. Okay, so పిల్లలు ఇన్ని స్టెప్లలో they might have did some mistakes in pronunciation. Okay, so their child will get an accurate, rich kind of linguistic input, an authentic resource from teacher. You got my point? So teacher is an authentic resource in the classroom where teacher knows accurate pronunciation, voice modulation, raising tone, falling tone, voice modulation, each and everything. So here student will enable and he will listen and he will understand the right pronunciation. So first you made students to fail. మనమే స్టూడెంట్స్ ఫెయిల్ చేశాము ఎందుకు? ఇండివిజువల్ రీడింగ్ ఇచ్చి. And collaborative reading, they got some idea. In scaffold reading, teacher helped to read, went to the group and read. And in loud reading by student, sometimes our student may not have accurate pronunciation. Okay, so when teacher reads slowly 5 times, 6 times, you read the same paragraph. Story cheppadu, read cheyandi, word to word read. So here you follow all grammatical rules, conventions of writing. Full stop, comma, question mark, wherever it is, however it is, you narrate చేసినట్టుగా new authentic reading చేస్తావు. So what is the last step? Not last step, before last step. Loud reading by teacher. ఈ లౌడ్ రీడింగ్ బై టీచర్ అయిపోయిన తర్వాత నెక్స్ట్ స్టెప్ వాట్ వుడ్ బి? ఇట్ వుడ్ బి లౌడ్ రీడింగ్ తర్వాత ఏముంది? ఇక ఆ సెగ్మెంట్లో రీడింగ్ అయిపోయింది, పార్ట్ ఆల్ రీడింగ్స్ అయిపోయింది. ఇండివిజువల్ రీడింగ్, కొలాబరేటివ్ రీడింగ్, స్కాఫోల్డ్ రీడింగ్, loud reading by student, silent reading by students, loud reading by teacher. So after loud reading by teacher, wherever students could not face or read properly, వాడు ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ ఒక సింగిల్ 2-3 words చాలా హార్డ్గా కమ్యూనికేషన్ అనే వర్డ్ వచ్చింది, చదవలేకపోతున్నాడు. సో వానికి అన్ని స్టెప్లలో కూడా ఉన్నాడు కానీ దాని మీద డౌట్ మనకు బాగుంది. సో వెన్ యూ రీడ్ అగైన్ అండ్ అగైన్, చైల్డ్ విల్ ఫోకస్ మోర్ ఆన్ దట్ పర్టికులర్ వర్డ్ అండ్ దే will understand and they will listen with a lot of concentration, okay, keen observation. Then they will pick, it will be registered in their brain. Okay, then after loud reading by teacher, then you narrate the story of that particular segment, not the entire story but the chosen segment which has a very less amount of vocabulary, very less of sentences, very less of phrases, very less of dialogues. You got my point? So for example, yesterday I gave this example in Kottur. There is a 25 kgs bag, rice bag. So 25 kgs of rice bag is there and you cook the entire 25 kgs rice bag and you are trying to feed to your son. ఎప్పుడన్నా చేశారా అట్లా? మీరు చేశారా? Yeah, if you try to cook 25 kgs of rice bag and feed to your son, what happens? తింటలేడు, కుక్కుతున్నావు నోట్లో అట్లే. What happens? You push and automatically the stomach will burst and he will die. You got my point? When you tell the entire A reading story or B reading story without segment, without making them slots, without choosing only 2 paragraphs or half or 2.5 paragraphs, if you don't break it, you are doing something like cooking 25 kgs rice and feeding to your son. You got my point? You're not feeding the stomach, but you're feeding the brain. Because of that reason, that principal did not allow president to teach. You got my point? So, because why president is not allowed to teach? Because he doesn't know what to segregate, how to segregate. So, you need to choose very little content according to your student's ability. 3rd class, little content. 4th class, a little bit. 5th class, okay, 2 paragraphs. But always try to make segments. Then, in that segment, you do all these steps. Pre-reading అయిపోయింది, now we are in reading. Reading లో all these steps. ఎవరైనా ఒకరు తొందరగా చెప్పండి స్టెప్స్. రీడింగ్ లో ఏ రీడింగ్ ఉంది? ఏ రీడింగ్ లో ఒక సెగ్మెంట్ తీసుకున్నా 2 paragraphs. సో ఆ 2 paragraph లో ఎన్ని స్టెప్స్ చేయాలి? తొందరగా ఫాస్ట్. ఇండివిజువల్ రీడింగ్, collaborative reading, scaffold reading, loud reading by students, silent reading, loud reading by teacher, which is an authentic resource for the students. Okay, and then after this, the very important thing, we go into next box, which is a post reading activity. రీడింగ్ తర్వాత వచ్చేది పోస్ట్ రీడింగ్. రీడింగ్ ముందు వచ్చేది ప్రీ రీడింగ్, రీడింగ్ తర్వాత వచ్చేది పోస్ట్ రీడింగ్. సో ఇన్ పోస్ట్ రీడింగ్ యాక్టివిటీస్, ఇప్పుడు ఈ కంటెంట్ లో స్టోరీ నరేషన్, యూ మస్ట్ నరేట్ ద స్టోరీ. ఆ రీడింగ్ యాక్టివిటీస్ అన్నీ అయిపోయినాక దెన్ యూ టెల్ ఓన్లీ దట్ సెగ్మెంట్. చెప్పారు, స్టోరీ చక్కగా చెప్పారు, అవసరం లేదు లిజనింగ్ ఇన్పుట్ ఎట్లా చెప్పారో ఇది కూడా అట్లే చెప్పారు. నెక్స్ట్ యూ మూవ్ టు post reading activity. In post reading activity, the very important key thing, like heart for this pedagogy, okay, discourse oriented pedagogy, which is discourse construction. Post reading activity, reading అయిపోయింది, post reading activity, discourse construction. So in discourse construction, what is discourse, sir? You may ask me, discourse అని చెప్తున్నావు, అసలు discourse అంటే ఏందిరా భయ్ చెప్పండి. What is discourse? Just now Albert sir read that, that is discourse. Just now we sang one rhyme, that is discourse. Now you are listening my teaching, that is discourse. Savitri comes and announces tea break, that is a discourse. And Emmanuel sir will announce we have delicious lunch this afternoon, that is a discourse. You got my every meaningful, authentic communication which gives you some important thought or which gives you some message to your brain is called discourse. So how many discourses that we could do when we teach in our classroom? Okay, there, the discourse construction. So you make students, you give them pair work or group work or individual work. బాగా చెప్పండి, individual work, group work, pair work. So activity oriented classrooms. So here you go with some activities. So ఈ టీచ్ చేయబడ్డటువంటి కంటెంట్లో పిల్లలు డిస్కోర్సెస్ కన్స్ట్రక్ట్ చేయాలి. ఓకే, discourses construct చేయాలి. A small example that I would like to tell. For example, in 4th class textbook లోనే there is a story pancake. Okay, so once upon a time there was a lovely mother who is cooking the pancake. Okay, there was a lovely mother who had 7 hungry children. Okay, these 7 hungry children were looking at the mother with hungry eyes. Okay, all 7 hungry children were hungry and they want to eat that cake. Suddenly what happened? Look at me. Suddenly what happened while the mother was frying the pancake? The pancake, come on, jumped up into the air and fell down on the floor. ఇది ఒక స్లాట్ మీరు తీసుకున్నారు. And the pancake started rolling. ఇది ఒక పారాగ్రాఫ్ మీరు తీసుకున్నారు. ఓకే, ఇదే మీ కంటెంట్ స్లాట్. దీంట్లోనే ఇండివిజువల్ రీడింగ్ అయిపోయింది, కొలాబరేటివ్ రీడింగ్ అయిపోయింది, స్కాఫోల్డ్ రీడింగ్ అయిపోయింది, లౌడ్ రీడింగ్ బై స్టూడెంట్ అయిపోయింది, సైలెంట్ రీడింగ్ అయిపోయింది, లౌడ్ రీడింగ్ బై టీచర్ అయిపోయింది, అండ్ స్టోరీ నరేషన్ అయిపోయింది. నెక్స్ట్ యు ఆర్ ఆన్ డిస్కోర్స్ కన్స్ట్రక్షన్. Okay, so in these discourses, sir already told that there are spoken discourses, written discourses. Okay, మాట్లాడితే కూడా డిస్కోర్స్, రాసిన డిస్కోర్స్.